What is going on, brothers and sisters? Eric Rosen here, your internal strength coach, here to show you how to overcome your greatest challenges so you can shine your brightest light. It is Monday, November 26, 2018. Thank you for being here. We're going to be doing a tarot reading today. I've actually already pulled the cards, and I think that's what we're going to be doing going forward. The videos were feeling a little bit stagnant to me in terms of just how I felt about the content and putting them out there. So wanted to get into more of a daily, consistent spiritual practice for this. So I was drawn to doing the tarot. It's something I've done before. I always intend when I pull these cards to pull cards, for delivering this message to help you guys out. But what I find a lot of times is that it's relating to my own life as well, which really makes sense because from an astrological perspective, overall, even though there are a lot of differences, we are moving through a lot of the same energy just in terms of what's going on with the planets and astrology. So without further ado, I have my new tarot deck that I used. Really appreciate the artwork. So first card I got from this past, present, future reading. Okay, I drew 3 cards. The past card is the 9 of Pentacles. So here just recently, I actually did a video on this, I believe Wednesday last week, where I spoke something similar about how I was feeling this, where, this card is saying it's a time to relax. I mean, as you can see, she's relaxing by the tree, just reading a book. I got a glass of wine, maybe some food nearby. And she's relaxing, and then it's also a good time for reflection as well, reflection of your accomplishments, of what you've achieved. If we were feeling stressed, it was a great time to stop and acknowledge what we've accomplished, and just realizing that old adage that life is a marathon and not a race, and it's important to be patient and good to yourself, to acknowledge those accomplishments, because that is part of the manifestation process. A lot of times it gets overlooked, especially for people that have self-worth issues, which is in a way all of us to a certain degree, where we'll keep doing thing after thing after thing, trying to accomplish things, trying to fulfill us and make us feel great. And if we don't stop and acknowledge those things, it's just kind of like feeding a monster with a bottomless appetite. So it was important here to go through that. And then if that doesn't resonate with you, if you didn't feel like you were achieving lately or had success, it means that success is coming, should you choose to, kind of listen to your intuition going forward. Chances are, if it hadn't worked out for you, that you probably were following a path of, either just not listening to your intuition, using too much logic, or being guided by fear, or maybe even just inactivity. Maybe you just, weren't taking the steps towards success. So, but doesn't mean that success is not coming. There's infinite opportunities. There's always a second chance to make things happen. So the next card I got, this is the present card. This is the 4 of Swords. So this is another card, showing rest. This is actually laying down rest this time, but it's a card that, calls you to, rest, to daydream, a chance to refresh mind, body, spirit. And what I think it's calling action to is refilling your cup before the next journey, because, this past card was saying, reflect on your past accomplishments. So now it's like the energy that you're in. It's like, okay, you've come home from a long journey, from a battle, celebrating your victory. Now rest and recoup before you go charging into like the next endeavor, because, it's not going to go very well if your adrenals are burnt out, if you're tired, if you're cranky, if you're irritated. You're not going to be able to reap the benefits of like the next, your next endeavor, the next mission that you're going on in your life, because you didn't take this time to rest. So, and it's important to differentiate too between, this rest, this lack of movement, between like a positive lack of movement and a negative one. So a negative one would be staying in a rut, you know, especially in the mind, right? You know, your thoughts, your belief system, what you believe on what's going on in your life or your relationships or yourself, just, you know, basically negative cognitive thinking, and just that feeling of being tired and overwhelmed. If you're feeling that, it might be a time to make a tough decision. You might need to make the decision to, it could be the decision to change something up in your life that you know isn't working out. It could just be, you know, redirecting your energy towards something new. It could be that, it could be inactivity. You know, if you haven't experienced success yet, it could be that there was too much inactivity. So I think too that if you, the success hasn't come, I think if you make this tough decision, you know, and make it now, um, and then rest, then, you know, you can move on to the next journey. So not the best time for making tough decisions, Mercury retrograde, but so, you know, might be behind the eight ball a little bit in terms of, you know, taking advantage of, you know, this energy that's coming up here with things moving forward. But still, I would take the time to reflect on those decisions and probably rest and then make the decision after Mercury retrograde would be my advice. And then, you know, obviously the positive, you know, lack of movement here is the resting, it's the dreaming, it's the daydreaming, it's the meditation. You know, even to a degree, it goes back to that Nine of Pentacles card of, you know, reading, relaxation. And, you know, just know too that, I mean, this isn't saying like stop doing everything, stop moving forward in life. It's just saying, you know, maybe just don't push too hard. Don't be afraid to take breaks. Don't be afraid to rest. You know, this also reflects back to another video I did recently where I talked about doing, you know, 5, you know, big things a day, 5, you know, tasks that really light you up, that'll really make you fulfilled at the end of the day, as opposed to like trying to take care of 10 things a day and burning yourself out. It's a great time to do that, to just do those 5 things. And it makes sense too in the fall, right? Like it's, you know, it's like the harvest, the fall harvest. Like you planted everything in the spring, you know, you use that energy in the summer, you know, like things came to fruition, and then, you know, now like you're harvesting things. So it's a good time to kind of journey inward, try to rest up. I mean, the cold weather, the holidays, like all that is like a reflection of not pushing so damn hard, and, you know, being good to yourself and recharging those batteries. So last card, the future card, is the Page of Swords. So this card is all about the next endeavor, right? The next journey. This kid, young guy, you know, he's full of enthusiasm, but it's also a card that carries uncertainty with it. You know, he's enthusiastic and he's determined to carry things out, but maybe he doesn't have all the facts, doesn't have all the knowledge, but that's okay. Like, he's motivated, he's positive, he's enthusiastic. And I think the key here is, like, you know, since this is the future card, once we're done resting up, the important thing is that we, you know, use our emotions. I know this is just like so counterintuitive to probably what you're taught, but actually using your emotions to guide you to the decision that you should make, as opposed to what is intellectually appealing. You know, for example, I've been drawn to, you know, wanting to, I talk about this a lot. This is still something that comes up about wanting to go back to an exercise routine, go back to the gym, you know, maybe want to go out and like socialize more. Just all these things that seem like sexy on the surface and appealing. And it's really common to what a lot of other people find attractive and what they're doing. But the important thing is to use your emotions, which will guide you to what's your truth, what's really going to make you happy, as opposed to like doing what intellectually is appealing and what everyone else is doing as well. Because you that intellectual mindset of like what looks good is also going to a lot of times be the consensus of what everyone else thinks is good too, because most people are relying on that logical standpoint. So use your emotion to make the decision, and then use your intuition to guide you, as opposed to intellectually making a decision and then um, you know just like being impulsive instead of using your intuition. um, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to act on your gut instinct as opposed to using your intellect. A lot of times that can scare people, especially when they first start out doing it, because um, your mind wants to second guess yourself, and then you're very new to it, but then it feels right, and so you're like, what the hell is this? Why is this pulling me this way? Um, you know, Even if it doesn't make sense, allow your emotions to guide you there. Um, Last thing I want to say is that, you know, the thing with this card is that because there is this level of uncertainty, maybe you don't have all the facts. A lot of times that can discourage people from even wanting to go on this next journey, because they don't know everything. That uncertainty translates to fear. But we often want to have like this giant spotlight, like that we want to shine on, like what the road looks like ahead, and like see all of the scary shit that can come out, all of the challenges that come up. Just wanting to know, just that human instinct of like wanting to know things, wanting to know facts, and you know to have the spotlight to know, if do we even want to go on the journey in the first place, how can we prepare for it. But the reality is that what you really just have is a lantern. You have this lantern, and so the lantern's only going to illuminate a few feet in front of you. You're not going to be able to see the entire road ahead. Basically it's the vision of like the end of the road. What that looks like is just that vision in your head. It's about being able to see the invisible, about having that imagination, channeling that inner child to see what's truly possible. But then along the way, it's simply just a few steps in front of you. It's trusting in your intuition. It's just trusting in that inner guidance. It's like being in the dark. You have this lantern, and having trust that you're going to get to the end of the road, that you're going to get to the place that you want to go, is like having the courage to move through that fear of the darkness, as opposed to the worry about, oh, what's in the dark, what's going to come out, am I going to fall down a hole? And that's the fear that becomes crippling, that you're not only able to take advantage of the journey, of all the awesome things that it has to offer, but a lot of times that paralyzes people from ever even taking a step on the path in the first place. So that's what I got for you guys today. Hope you appreciate this. We'll keep it rolling with the tarot. And thanks. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. I will be back tomorrow. You guys have an awesome day. Take care.